Hi friends, welcome back to another press on video. We're jumping right into this one. I already have my nails on my stand. Today I'm using the Gel-X Apres Natural Almond Extra Short Nails. These nails are for my niece, so the sizing is going to be a little bit smaller. On these nails, I have like the little extra like plastic that sticks out a little bit, so I am prepping the nails by filing that off first before I start etching the top of the nails. Just like my other press-on videos, I am using the Apres tip primer that is part of their Gel-X prep. And unfortunately, I did drop like half the bottle right before I was about to use it, which honestly, I highly recommend wearing gloves whenever you're working with any nail products or gel products just to protect yourself and your hands and not have any overexposure because had that stuff fallen on my hands, I mean, it's a one-time thing, but still, why risk it? You know what I'm saying? After I'm done etching the nails with that tip primer, I am going in with my Sheer Pinks number 2. That's the only name that I know this brand by, but if you've seen this bottle, I think you know which one I'm talking about. And my D&D 2440, I did use that in my last nail press on video, but I like to layer this, so I am doing 2 layers of the sheer pink. This is what one layer looks like, and then this top set is 2 layers and the bottom set is 1 layer of just that sheer pink, and then I go in with just 1 layer of the D&D color just to have a little bit pinker. I didn't want it to be too sheer and I didn't want it to be too nude. I wanted like a little bit of a pink tone. We are doing a Disney set today, so I feel like just having these be like a little bit more blush nude pink was on brand for Disney nails. I am using my Nailsentials Black because I'm trying to finish this bottle. I believe this is the last bottle I have from them, but they're a brand that does not exist to my knowledge anymore. And I'm using this brush from Nails by Dev, but I'm using the back end of it because I'm doing a little silhouette Mickey head and I wanted something that could give me a bigger dot and I couldn't find a bigger dotting tool. I swear I had one, but this was as big as I could get. So I did that as its main face and then I kind of perfected the edge and then I used my smaller dotting tool to do the ears and then I just went in and fixed it if I wanted it to be like a little bit bigger, if I needed it to kind of mess around with the roundness of the ears. Once I was happy with the roundness and the size, I put that in for a full 60-second cure. Unfortunately, I am using my Nailsentials White as well, but I'm just trying to get through these gels so that I can finish them up, but I'm using them for my stars on the rest of the nails except for the index finger. And I'm just doing little stars and like little sprinkled stars, and I'm just starting that off by putting a dot in the middle and then pulling that out to 4 sides to be able to make that little star formation. I was struggling a little bit this day on doing stars, so I didn't really get a lot of clips showing me pull the stars apart, but in this clip you could see that my stars were a little bit thinner in the middle after pulling them, so I went in and added my dot again just to kind of widen that and make it a little bit more of an even looking star. On the ring finger, I'm doing the Disney logo, the little D, and I'm using 102 Bluffin from PLA. I did leave this clip in real time so you guys could see how long I take to kind of map out this nail. I think if I was doing this on a client, I would have done it just a little bit faster, but since I was doing press on sets, I kind of took my time a little bit better, but I started off by doing the line that kind of connects the D, I guess, first, just to kind of see how much of the design I needed to the left of that and how much I needed to the right of that. Then I moved into like the little middle swoop of it and connected the bottom part to that. That way I could slowly go around the nail and kind of get the angle of the curve of the D. I was trying to be super detailed and like aware of the thickness of this line work that needed to be a part of this design, because part of what makes this logo is the thickness at some points of the letter. Like the bottom of it, I believe, is a little bit thicker compared to when it swoops back up to the left side and then goes straight across to the right. It kind of goes like thick to thin and then back to thin, um, or back to thick, I believe. And then, so my main point is just really being aware sometimes when you're doing nail art that you're trying to recreate something, part of what makes it look more realistic or kind of like, wow, is that a sticker? Did they really hand draw that? Is really being aware of the different thin and thickness, because this logo is only one color. I'm not adding extra color, I'm not adding extra detail with line work or something like that. It's really just being aware of what parts of the letter needed to be moved around so that it looks exactly the way I want it to look. Now, part of the request on these nails was to make this logo 3D. So I went in with my Apres Extend Gel, and you guys will see me do this in a second. I don't really like to use this gel, so I kind of just had extra. When I saw, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use this to make this design 3D, and I mixed it with a little bit of V Beauty clear acrylic to kind of thicken it up. However, I realized after the fact when I was doing the design to make it 3D, I don't really work with a Prade gel, well, specifically the Extend gel, very often, so I wasn't aware of the settle time that it gives me when I started painting the design, which is a big factor if you're going to use a gel like this to do that, because as it started settling, it kind of started spreading and it was making my line work a little bit blurred, which, as you're seeing here in real time, and paying attention to how thin and thick parts of this logo are, and then for the gel to spread like that, it was making me a little bit nerve wracked, I guess. If you guys are wondering, I'm using these transparent post-it notes as my palette as well. And like I said, I just mixed the two and I kind of just mixed them until I liked the thickness. I wanted it to be thin enough that it felt comfortable to spread, but still thick enough that it was going to stay in place and build on itself. And then I didn't want it to be clear, I wanted it to have a little bit more opaqueness to it. So the little amount of blue gel that I had left over on my palette, I mixed it in as well. I didn't add more onto my palette because I still want the light to pass through the gel, so I didn't want it to be super opaque, but I did want it to have a little bit of a transparent color sheerness to it. So yeah, I'm just mixing that in. Once it's all mixed in, I go in to do the design. And I'm really just following the outline basically that I gave myself since I already did the design on the nail. I'm just following it. Like I said though, since the spray gel was kind of spreading a little bit, I ended up doing it in sections and using my mini Apres light to cure in between each little section that I was doing. So since this was kind of a thicker line work part of the design, I did add a lot of gel to that part and then cured that and then went into the thinner lines so that way the thin lines wouldn't spread, and cured that. And that's pretty much what I did for the whole design. And then once I fully went over the design, I think I actually did two passes with this gel, but once I went over the full design, first I did a 60-second cure and then went over any parts I wanted to be raised a little bit more and did another 60-second cure. When it came to the line that goes vertical down the logo, I first went over it like just straight across, and it was spreading, it was a mess. It was like getting blurred in with the like little swoop of the D. So I ended up wiping that off and then I ended up going section by section of that line. So this is me showing you that I went over the whole thing And by going over those two little sections right there, it wasn't coming out as clean as I wanted it. It was really pulling in the middle, and then it just wasn't being even. And I knew that if I cured it like this, it was going to be the same. So I ended up wiping that and doing the little top part first, and then curing that, doing the little middle part first, curing that, and doing the little bottom and curing that, and that seemed to work a lot better. Then to finish off this set, I went in with my Chan Legend top coat gel. I top coated all the nails first that didn't have the 3D design, so all the nails except for the rings, and then lastly, before I put them all into cure, I did that design. I just didn't want to paint it first and then have the top coat kind of be pulling in the logo, and then it would kind of take away from the 3D design, you know what I'm saying? So right when I finished painting it, I tried to put in the lamp as quickly as possible so the top coat wouldn't have time to pull into any sections of the 3D design, and then you wouldn't be able to see like that nice 3D look to it as well. And that's pretty much it for this nail set, guys. I know it was a shorter and simpler nail set, but I thought I would share with you guys just because sometimes you don't want to see like these full extravagant nail art designs and how-tos. I feel like sometimes you want to just see like the simpler nail designs as well. And I did show a little bit of my process of how I package these nails. I ended up just using a little postcard. Sometimes I package my press-ons different ways, but I use this little postcard and this double-sided tape from Dollar Tree, and I place that on and then take off the like little tape side that it comes with, and then map out my nails where I'm gonna place them on the card, and then just fully press them on, and that's it. I'll put them in their little packaging as well. I don't think I showed that, but I do put them like in a little baggy packaging to give them to my niece. But I think these came out super cute. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this design, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.